the Case Files, where we dive into our players. In today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at Jonnu Smith, the tight end from the New England Patriots. But first, if you want to do a huge favor for your boy by hitting that like button, and if you want to dislike this video, hit that dislike button. It won't hurt your boy's feelings. Well, maybe just a little bit. If you guys like what I do on this channel, hit that subscribe button. It will help out the empire grow tremendously. So on that note, let's continue with the episode. The main question we have for today is, how can Arthur Smith and Jonnu Smith reconnect that kindle of flame when they had it back in Tennessee Titans in 2017 through 2020 when Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator for them and Jonnu Smith was their main number one tight end target. Now obviously Kyle Pitts is our main focus, but it's going to be very interesting to see how Jonnu Smith and Kyle Pitts with that awesome combo to help Desmond Ridder captivate in us winning games. And also, it's been lackluster for 2 years with him with the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, we have to figure out who's at fault here. Is it on Jonnu Smith himself, or is it with the New England Patriots playing calls, or can it be a little bit mixture of both? That's what we're going to figure out today's episode. So let's just dive into the video. In Week 6 against the Cleveland Browns, Jonnu Smith had a good game. He was targeted twice, caught 2 receptions for 61 yards, and a grand total of 0 touchdowns. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, wait, how can that equivalent to a good game? Well, let me give you a quick side note first before we dive into the video, where the Patriots did not use a 2 tight end sets. Mostly they used a 3 wide set on the offensive side, and that was 70% of the time. So that's why Jonnu Smith did not get a lot of targets, because he was not really used a lot, and also he was never the starter. That was Hunter Henry at the time. So let's just dive in this video to see what happened. So on this play call, Jonnu Smith is going to use a simple, basic blocking technique, nothing too crazy, but remember, in Arthur Smith 2 tight end sets, you have to block and you have to win your individual matchups, and that's what we're looking here, where he doesn't get, caught up in number 95. He goes looking after number 22, does his job. Now, even though the running back does not get the touchdown, you still like to see his first quick step and making sure he knows where everybody's at. On this play, there should have been a touchdown to Hunter Henry so quickly enough that no one saw this coming. Of course, Zappe just hesitated and then threw the ball his way. But plus, this could have been a touchdown to Jonnu Smith as well, if we could clearly see he bump engages, but then he quickly gets some separation where Zappe could have had the chance to throw his targets right away for this touchdown. But of course, that Hunter Henry came back, and that's why it was flagged instead of a touchdown, so it was negated. Because if you guys didn't notice, Hunter Henry stepped out of bounds. I'm not too crazy about this play call, and maybe I'm overreacting here, because the whole point of having Jonnu Smith on the field is to making sure he can create separation and create moving the chains easier for your offense. But clearly we see here he doesn't get enough of this curl route. He gets pretty maintained, where everybody else at least have some type of free space where they can try to maneuver a little bit better, unlike Jonnu Smith's situation here. I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the Patriots and Browns game, where Jonnu Smith came in with a bad ankle injury, but even still, we see him here using his incredible speed burst to making sure he gets extra yards, even though he gets tackled by 2 guys in the beginning. And I love how he used his body frame to making sure he doesn't go down easily. But also, I do have to admit that the Cleveland Browns defender absolutely just botched this in the very split second where Jonnu Smith uses this. Even still, you got to use these golden opportunities when they arrive, because they don't come often, and when you use them, you got to make sure you hit them perfectly in sync, because they can be missed opportunities as well. This was a great play call by the Patriots, and obviously you guys didn't see the whole game like I did, so a lot of times they weren't really in a 2 tight end set formation at all. But I like that the quarterback Zappe tricked everybody thinking that he's going to pass the screen to the running back, but actuality he was going to his tight end. Now a lot of people didn't think or would assume that a tight end screen pass will really be effective for his size, but it really does work. He almost gets the first down, and I like the route running that he used, quick slide lines, step in, making sure he reads everything where he needs to go, and to almost get this first down. Great job. So on this play, this is a head scratcher for me because this is so out of the ordinary for Jonnu Smith blocking, because he does a pretty good job in every time I watch him play so far with the Patriots. But for some reason, he decides not to block this one defender of the Browns, where eventually it does tackle the running back. But we can clearly see he's helping number 76 with the blocking, where clearly number 76 does need a little bit of help, but not too much, where he completely avoids the other guy completely, where this hurts the running game significantly enough because he didn't do his assignment on doing the one-on-one individual matchup. For some reason, it's just out of character. In Week 7, against the Chicago Bears, Jonnu Smith had an average game. He was targeted 3 times, only caught 1 reception for 4 total yards and 0 touchdowns. Now, obviously, most people would say, how come this shouldn't be a bad game? Well, because there was a lot of missed opportunities for the quarterback for him to make plays. And also, in the second half of the game, the Chicago Bears just leaped out and steamrolled over the New England Patriots, where the Patriots could not catch up in time. And so that means the less opportunities for Jonnu Smith with the quarterbacks, because the quarterback was looking at the other targets instead. So on this play, Jonnu Smith is going to do a light blocking stance because he doesn't go one-on-one individual. In fact, he goes up with 2 guys very briefly, and you can see that the safety, number 9, just quickly gets over Jonnu. But Jonnu still tries to make some type of attempt, but it doesn't work out at the end because he still gets after the running back. It's just very weird. It wasn't full stance at the ready of the start of the play. A lot of times in football, you're going to do everything right. Great route run, great wide open space, but still you don't get the opportunities because the quarterback sees somebody else. Just like how Hunter Henry is doing the same thing. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are both doing really great route runs, but the thing is that Hunter Henry just has more yardage over Jonnu Smith at his route run, so that's why the quarterback decided to throw him the ball instead of Jonnu. I'm going to make this very clear. This is not Jonnu Smith's fault when he's going down the middle to get into position, because he's going to get a pretty nice solid coverage right here. But then the quarterback just lobs it. And I'm telling you straight up, when you lob something, most of the time it doesn't work out. Remember when Marcus Mariota lobbed that ball, got a pick? This is basically what the quarterback did. So the quarterback was facing a 2 top safety press corner coverage, and it did not work out. It is not Jonnu Smith's fault at all. Great play by the defense, but terrible by the quarterback. So on this play call, I like it and I don't like it. I like that it's a nice, simple curl route for Jonnu Smith to connect, but what I don't like that when he gets to the ball, all these Bear defenders just swarm at him and he gets smothered to death. These are the plays that I'm very excited to see, that when Jonnu Smith can connect these type of blocking runs for the Atlanta Falcons in the future with Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, CP. I mean, I like that everybody does a great job, but still, I like that he also won his individual matchup as well. So great timing on everybody's position. On this play, Jonnu Smith is going to use a nice outside route to get separation to create a wide open gap, but of course, the quarterback throws an inaccurate ball to make it incomplete pass. In Week 9, against the Indianapolis Colts, Jonnu Smith had a good game. He was targeted 3 times, caught 3 receptions for 21 yards, of course no touchdowns, but the key thing was run blocking, and he was excellent at that, so that's why he gets a good grade. So let's just see what happened in the video. So on this play, the entire Patriots offense is trying to block for the running back. So some of them do a pretty good job, others not so much. But I like the attempt that everybody tries to block for their man, to making sure the running back gets enough room to create more running lane. Obviously, it doesn't work. But, I like that Jonnu Smith just attacks his opponent very quickly and then goes to the second step to try to find a defender to block. So on this play, we're going to see how Jonnu Smith does a really good job on blocking one of the defenders for this bubble screen that number 84 is going to catch. And it does a pretty good job where he gets a little bit extra yards, but I just like to see how Jonnu Smith uses his body frame to making sure that number 23 doesn't get near his target. This is an incredible play by Jonnu Smith and the quarterback, where Jonnu Smith is going to block for real quick, like a cheap chip shot, where the quarterback is going to throw him the ball because there's nobody in his facility, where he gets as much yardage gain allowed. Whereas an incredible play, nice trickery on both departments of the offensive side of the ball. This has to be one of my favorite run blocking that Jonnu Smith has acquired when he's steamrolling over Ngakwe. It's hilarious how he just pushed him sideways and Ngakwe just loses balance. It's so hilarious and so awesome. So on this play call, Jonnu's going to do an excellent job in blocking and making sure the corner doesn't even get near the running back. In Week 11, against the New York Jets, Jonnu Smith had another good game. He was targeted 4 times, caught 4 receptions for 40 yards, of course 0 touchdowns, but the reason why I thought it was a good game because of excellent blocking like always, and this time he had more opportunities because the Patriots decided to use more of a 2 tight end set instead of a 3 wide receiver spread outside set. So on that note, let's just dive in to see what happened. Right out of the gate, Jonnu Smith is going to use a quick slant route, and it kind of tricks the defender for a split second to give Jonnu Smith this wide open free coverage to almost get this incredible first down. Excellent play by Jonnu Smith. This is just an athletic screen block play for Jonnu Smith getting after Sauce Gardner, who's probably one of the best corners in football right now. And I love that he's making sure he does everything right to not, throw the flag in, making sure nothing gets negated, and definitely making sure that number 16 does not get hit at all cylinders. On this play, the Patriots are in a 2 tight end sets formation where Jonnu Smith is going to do an excellent job in making sure that his guy does not get loose, and until the whistle is blown, he's going to make sure that number 8 does not do any damage. These are the type of plays that I think the Patriots really use Jonnu Smith to his fullest abilities, and I know the Atlanta Falcons could do the same thing, and this was a tight end sweep. Now, unfortunately, he kind of flopped the ball when he was trying to switch hands to making sure that, ironically, he didn't get a forced fumble by the Jets defenders if he got hit, but unfortunately, I do like the awareness that he saw was happening, and he capitalized on his mistakes and to making sure that it didn't become a worse outcome than it already was, so he fell on the ball on it, so still great awareness. I like the intent, just making sure that he does not fumble the ball that easily next time when the Atlanta Falcons are going to use this type of play. These are nice to see because they're just basic check down plays that the quarterback is going to use for the tight end, and I think that's how Desmond Ridder is going to use Jonnu Smith a lot when he's going to get some weird situation or want to get everything rolling, and so I think it's good to see how that can look when the Atlanta Falcons using the same exact play style. This play alone shows you how Jonnu Smith is so dangerous if you give him the opportunity, and he makes incredible, separation and speed on this perfect corner route that he just absolutely just does a nice cut to making sure he gets a lot of separation and still makes more yardage after the catch. This is just an incredible play by Jonnu Smith at all cylinders, and this is what the Atlanta Falcon fans are going to be excited to see this happen on Falcons game day. We just have a simple opportunity play for Jonnu Smith, nothing too crazy, just to make sure if he can make something magic happen. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you know what? It's still getting the opportunity and a chance to try to do some magic. That's all. And it builds confidence in your players. So what is the final verdict for Jonnu Smith? I think this is an A+ for both sides of the parties, for the Atlanta Falcons and for Jonnu Smith as well, because Jonnu Smith definitely had his career years with the Tennessee Titans, when it comes to touchdowns, reception-wise, and yard-wise, obviously because of Arthur Smith, when he was with the coaching staff, and then eventually elevated to the offensive coordinator job to give him that one-on-one individual matchups where he knows that Jonnu Smith can definitely win those matchups easily, give him the better advantages. Now, not saying that the Patriots and Bill Belichick didn't do the same thing, but it was less frequently because the Patriots love to use a heavy run set, not much of a 2 tight end set, more of a 3 wide receiver set, more often than not. Now, back in 2021, there wasn't a lot of 2 tight end sets, but back in 2022, there were heavily more 2 tight end sets during the season when both quarterbacks, Zappy and then, Mac Jones, who kind of struggled. They both kind of struggled during the beginning of the season, but then they kind of did a little bit better, mid-tier to the bottom of the season. So that's when they start using more of the 2 tight end sets to help the quarterback, create more changes to get more opportunities for touchdowns. So I think that's what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do with him. Now, obviously, Desmond Ridder is going to benefit full-heartedly of the factors of what Jonnu Smith can use because of his knowledge, of his age and wisdom of the game, and definitely because, like they always say, tight ends are always the quarterback's best friend when it comes to situational situations. So obviously I'm excited for that. So I think Jonnu Smith will definitely have, cross my fingers, have a career year with the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm excited for that. So on that note, if you guys have stayed this long to the very end of the video, I appreciate you guys for taking your own personal time and day to watch this video. So what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.